My name is Ronell Chewy Coombs. I have a new masterpiece called Sometimes Women and Money Don't Mix. I know a thing or two about getting money. I went from being a street gangster to a business leader, and I've been making money all the way through. A lot of brothers as they age, they reach stalemate in whatever game they're in. When you get a little older and the money seems a little far-fetched and a little harder to grab, and you start looking for a lane, looking for a way, looking for the move, and you can't figure out why the money's not coming your way. I'll tell you a little secret that you know but don't want to deal with. Sometimes women and the money don't mix, and sometimes the women and the money do. And you really don't know the difference, and you're making a whole lot of bad decisions and bad judgments when it comes to these women. I know you don't want to hear it, I know you don't want to read it, but you better, because I got something to say to help you and strengthen your game. Sometimes women and money don't mix. That's my new masterpiece. It's on Amazon.com. Read it, debate it, study it, follow it, take it to the barbershop, put the fellas on. Sometimes women and money don't mix. It's available on Amazon. Get it.
Let that nigga in the door, close the door. Son, this nigga went to the phones, took it was like 4 phones in the 8. That nigga took all them shits off the shit. It was like 3 picnic tables back to back, each had a TV. He went to the front table. This was our table. I get in the joint. They send me the HDM, right? I gotta get this shit to y'all raw, cause I want y'all to catch the visual. When I get in, and shit, it was the first, when you get in the door, this shit is like a turnstile. Like, this shit got like little pipes that guide you around in a circle, and like, you know, them little areas. That's like the front of an office type building, but you see this shit is so crazy, the way these cages and shit. So you look and, you know, just watch a slave movie, and wherever you see them storing them niggas, that's how they were storing us. So when you go into prisons, any nigga that been to prison should understand what slavery feel like, because it's the same structure. But HDM is one of them gladiator structures. You could look and you could tell, because the walls and shit just look, you don't see that when you come in yet. It look a little neat in the first area, because it's like the school brick wall, the school bricks type walls when you come in too. So I come in, they uncuff me. I can recall feeling, you know, a little at ease and solid on my feet. You know, like, you know, I know wherever I'm going, I'm doing me, so I ain't worried about nothing. So they take me to, what block is this? 8 block. When I get, I'm trying to see, you know, a nigga always wondering what awaits. So I'm cutting through the halls, I'm looking. The shit still don't look dangerous yet. They got long hallways, shit look like school. You know a nigga dumb. Shit start identifying with your past, but lying to you at the same time, you know, but I wasn't dumb enough to feed into it. I'm looking for the danger. You know, when you come in a spot, you want to see, now I don't know pussy shit, but what's going on with this shit heading for? So I come in, and I look, long hallway, straight long hallway. And each block is like, it's like a row of blocks up that long corridor, right? Imagine a long hallway with doors, with 8 doors, say 10 doors going straight down. And on this side of the wall, and 10 doors on this side of the wall, across from each other, directly across from each other. And they got a metal detector in the hallway. Now, this is important to remember. So remember the long hallway, remember the 10 doors, each being a block of 100 niggas. You know, this shit is crazy. You ain't never seen 1,000 niggas stacked up in your life. Neat, bro. You'll see that in HDM, because I don't know the math of how many niggas it was, but I know each household, 2 sides, which hold probably 100 niggas on each side.
Yeah, I think at one time all 3 of those tiers was open. Like, you know, it's 3 tiers stacked up. I think all 3 of them was open at one time, but when I was there, it was only the first and the second tier. But I can imagine, I can imagine how many niggas it was when it was all 3 tiers.
Yeah, they said niggas was getting thrown off that shit.
That's why they closed it. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So boom, you know, I done heard this HDM shit a little bit, but I was really green, but not green to the jungle. But you know, the HDM is not the jungle. That jungle is regular when you say HDM. You know, because it was way too many brand name hitters at the same time. That's like being somewhere with Jay Prince, Jay-Z, Jordan, Kobe. You know, that's how that shit was. That shit was saturated, but on a killer gorilla pimping dealer scale. But not too many pimps and none of that shit, but you meet niggas with pimp shit in them. I done learned all types of shit just being in this place. Survival, like, tactics, you know? And that's what I talk about a lot of this stuff for, because shit, you don't never know what happened. What if the Arabs run out the store, nigga? No disrespect to the Arabs. I love them niggas, you know what I mean? Assalamu alaikum. You know what I'm saying? A Rahman to Allah, all that stuff, man. You know what I mean? I don't want nobody to take nothing personal. But anyway, when I get in this shit, I'm sizing shit for the danger. I don't see no danger. I look, I know it's jail though, so when I look, I get to the motherfucking door, and I get to the police give me my bag, they put me in the cages to the right. Not cages, but it's one big ass tall gate with a door, like it's all like bars, and they opened that with the skeleton key, you know, the evil treasure key. Boom, they open the shit, boom. But they ain't open it yet. They put me in front of it. When they put me in front of it, you know, niggas is thirsty, so all the wolves is, you know, making their way to the gate to see what they bringing in this bitch. You feel me? So then the first nigga to come to the gate, this nigga, I don't even recognize this nigga. He looked like the model nigga Tyson Beckford, right? So I look at this nigga, but the struggling version, but official. I look at this nigga. That nigga said, "Yo, John." I said, "Man." He said, "Yo, this nigga went to school with me." He goes bananas. He said him and his brother went to school with me. He said them niggas brought a gun to school. This nigga, and he like, "Yo, the whole fucking neighborhood and school is in this block." And I'm talking about my Brownsville niggas, all the niggas from around Sally's, Tin Boy, Howard, the Hill niggas. I mean, all of them niggas that went to PS 156 with us is in this motherfucking shit, in that block. So he going to get niggas. He grabbing niggas by the neck. He like, "Yo, come here, you don't remember this nigga, B?" Right? And he pulling, and I'm looking, and this niggas that was in my class, that's in that, you know, that little picture you get, and it be like 30 little kids sitting stacked up nice and neat and cute like their mothers dressed them. You know, I'm seeing niggas from that like, oh shit, that nigga in the back row, because you never forget that picture. Anybody you got in that picture is somebody that you're gonna remember forever, even if you separate from them at them tender ages, where the teacher be in the front with the sign. That picture there is a very memorial, important picture. If I could travel back, I would protect that picture. But I think they got public record of that shit. You probably could pull that shit out. But when I get in there, and I got him the same time he doing that, the nigga that I said rest in peace to, my nigga HB is in there, and he see me and he go super duper ape shit. Oh shit, my nigga John Ryder. He runs the fuck up. Now he's telling these niggas who I am in the streets. He like, "Yo, my nigga Knives, nigga dumped on Nines, Baga da da, he battled the locks." He going in. And he done went in already, because he been telling this why I love him, man. That nigga he wasn't no rapper, none of that, but he was a part of my team and my circle and my people, and he lived every word of the shits that everything we did was, you know, It just was crazy, man. But God bless him. It's kind of, please excuse me, that's my nigga, he not here. But, and the nigga didn't deserve to die. You know, the way he did. You know, the nigga went out fighting though. And it's funny that he went out fighting. You know, because he wasn't a fighter. You know, he wasn't a fighter, but he been around so many wolves, boy. He mustered up that motherfucking energy. I know if anybody that hit him, if they knew that nigga, I know they were surprised. Cause I was surprised when I heard how he went. You know, but I shouldn't have been surprised because it go to show that, you know, he was so honorable, man. So this guy, but let me cut it out. I didn't want to cry. Cause you know, cause I wanted to finish hitting y'all with this shit, but I'm hitting y'all anyway. Rest in peace to my nigga HB, Harlem Black, AKA Dooley. He was up in there with all that. A lot of niggas couldn't have made it being in that motherfucking shit with all of them Brooklyn niggas, nigga. This story about to get crazy. You know, but I'm gonna keep it thorough for the borough, nigga. I ain't lying. I'm sorry if anybody. I'm sorry. I'm gonna leave one nigga anonymous, but you know who the fuck you is, B. Don't get mad at me. I can't mention HB name and all of this other shit and God and then turn around and lie. You feel me? So anyway, but I'm careful. I ain't stupid. You know, I ain't gonna mention your name. But anyway, so while this shit is going down and I come in there, HB is telling them John Ryder, Infrared, you know what I'm saying? My nigga Conrad Shiesty, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna mention no other names, bro. You know what I mean? But anyway, when we get in that shit, I get in, niggas is crowding me. I'm loving it because I see my childhood friends, my Brooklyn niggas, like, and I already know how to, and then I'm happy that HB could survive around these niggas. That he actually fit. I wouldn't have never thought that in a million years, because HB was a good dude. He was a friend. And niggas take advantage of friendly people, bro. But he just, I don't know how, and I'm going to tell you how that happened. You're going to hear later in the story of the guy that I'm never going to mention his name or nothing. But when he hear this, he going to flip around in circles. But you better respect me, nigga, because I don't have to hide you. I didn't have to. I did that because you my nigga. You just was stupid. And he threw shit on my name, too, behind this shit. To our people. And I never even cleared this shit up. I let you escape with that story because I know you turned out to look stupid. And you had to patch it up just in case I was going to tell a story on you. You my nigga, I love you to death, though. So don't ever think I'm trying to shit on you, but you know I'm a man. And I talk to you like one. But I'm going to leave you anonymous. So when I get in there, I get into some shit in like 20 minutes. I'm not even going to lie to you. When I get in there, I had a 4-building mentality. And the 4-building mentality was, you know, we was really animal lessons in there. There was a lady in there. Her ass was so fat, bro. And she looked like she was attracted to me. So while I'm sitting there, I don't even see her. I'm sitting on the bag waiting for him to move. And she put a whole butt on the gate. And dropped something type shit. And I was like, oh shit, you know, we in jail. We ain't even seeing, the only chicks we seeing is these broads. I'm young. So I'm on her. So she nodded her head for me to like go in the small day room area. I look, ain't nobody in there. They opened the gate, they left me in there. She put her butt against the wall. And I'm looking, they had a clear glass, little square glass, where you could see into the little day room, whatever you want to call that area, by the shower. And I just start getting crazy with it. You know, I don't want to speak that, bring those visuals. Make a long story short, as we get into this shit, a Latin King nigga see her doing what she doing and see me doing what I'm doing, and he gets up and he come by me too. This my man now, but at this point, this was us meeting. That nigga said, "Yo, man, what the fuck you doing, right?" And try to put me on blast like I was a pervert.
What you mean? She was letting you hit off to her?
Yeah, she was giving me that money. You know what niggas with the animal lessons was saying?
Yeah, and niggas was hating?
Yeah, he was hating though. It wasn't just that they was hating. These the adults, nigga, the coffee drinkers. This why nobody wanted to go up there. Cause you got, when you in the adults, it was certain shit that's not tolerated a little bit. You feel me? Mm-hmm. That shit was zero. I quickly grew a whole nother attitude from this. But not cause I was scared. Cause I respected the adult maturity part of it. You know, but I'm gonna tell you what happened.
Yeah, so if she giving it up, man, if she giving it up like that, nigga gotta handle that.
Yeah, I was handling it. I was on it. Her shit was dumb too, right? So now I'm in jail, man. Niggas, I can tell you stories about that don't even sound bad. It sound crazy.
Yeah, I done told some stories. Niggas was like, nah, that shit OD. I'm like, listen, 4 building was out of control, my nigga. To say the least.
This is the real life way people respond to being taken away from women. and it never made us look crazy because them women that also heightened our features. The women, especially back in the days, because it was a lot of real solid men. So it was hard for them women to ignore the bravado in some niggas. Like,
and they was young. And them broads was young.
No, wait. How you not gonna like a nigga that told 60 niggas to sit the fuck down?
And got a big stupid Gucci link on. Nigga got a big stupid Gucci link on in jail telling niggas sit the fuck down.
Well, now there's a nigga in this story. This shit is worth all the fucking patience. It's a nigga in this story. Look, I told you it was Kobe and everybody. This nigga name was Knowledge. This motherfucker gonna get his street plat. He's so crazy, he gonna get his street.
What knowledge? You talking about Knowledge from Brownsville?
Knowledge, you know, I don't know where that nigga came from because I didn't meet him right away. I met everybody else. I think he was in the midst, but he one of them niggas that moved like an animal. No bullshit. He moved like let me see. He moved like that shit with the dots in the jungle, man. I'm just trying to, what is that again? The leopard?
Yeah.
You ever seen one of those move?
I don't know if it's the leopard or the cheetah that got the dot.
It's the cheetah. The cheetah is fast, so they move slow. When they walking, they move slow as fuck. They watch everything. Mm-hmm. When you see a cheetah, you can pull it up when you get off the phone. One thing you gonna notice if you ever see him from the front, he taking slow steps and he watch like to the 50th power. And when they see something worth getting close to, they take even slower steps and they angle themselves to get ready to take off. That's how this nigga was moving. So he could have been in the house just watching me and everybody. This nigga barely spoke. You had to sit next to him to hear him. And that's what I would do. Later I would be next to him. Because I admired this nigga's style. He wasn't the toughest guy from what I saw. That's not what he displayed, but he turned out to be that. In every situation, to be clear. So, while we in there, we having a blast in this motherfucking house, man. Niggas are smoking. Oh, Mace came out that year. The girl I wanna be with you. The reason why I'm doing that, only you. Cause this nigga, the Harlem nigga, was another Harlem nigga came in there. Now this what I mean by I was happy that HB was able to fit. You know what I'm saying? The other Harlem nigga gets in there. He see that everything is harmonious, visibly harmonious. He think everything is good. So, I see, you know, I ain't no dummy. I know my niggas, I know the jail, I know the area. I pull this nigga aside and tell this goofy nigga, I said, look, I don't ever want you to think that these are your friends. These are my friends. He said, what you mean? I said, I'm just trying to tell you, don't come in here like that. Slow down, nigga. I'm introducing you as my man. You know what I mean? But them niggas is from Brooklyn and they different. This is what I'm telling them. My friends ain't your friends, buddy. So this dumb nigga, look what he do. The nigga, I'm just chilling. He in there, Mace dropped his first video. Oh, you, he telling niggas. He in there telling these niggas that that's his cousin. And I'm like, oh man, he asking me, trying to make me a tag team liar or something. I'm like, I'm not about to laugh. I hate that shit. So, but I didn't want to pop his bubble and make him a fraud right there, because if he would have had $3, niggas was taking 3 and pimping them for the other 3 that's coming before it get there. And I'm not, at certain shit I will stop, and at certain shit I will not. Stop! And if you put your head in the guillotine, right, and that shit is a midway coming down because you didn't hit the button, I'm sorry, Joe, your head is coming off. I'm not dying. I don't care whose shit it is. You did that to yourself. And I know that it'll be foolish for me to stick my head out there, but I love you. I'm not dying because you decide to be stupid. I hated that. So, anyway, I tell him that. What's what it's turned out to be worthy for the nigga. So he in there lying to them niggas. He running his mouth. He trying to, because the way I am on his phone is how I am in prison. I'm in there. I ain't got to sit nowhere. I'm loud. I'm talking. I'm movies. I ain't going to be bored for nobody. That's my attitude. So he trying to do what I do. So anyway, he ain't telling me certain shit. So now my niggas is coming to me. And them niggas got mad weed. And we blowing. This nigga done became somebody on his own, supposed to be. He not even coming to me in the mornings or none of that. I can't even find this nigga some days. I'm like, this nigga loose. So the nigga was like, the nigga came to me one day and was like, yo, I had this nigga go to the hood. He was connected to some niggas that was getting some money that I was connected to too. Some niggas I was just affiliated with like he was. So the nigga, but he was with them niggas every day. I just pull up and it's the same love. You feel me? But the nigga was like, I sent your man. Shout outs to my nigga Shy too. My nigga Shy from Brooklyn, B Villain. He said, I see he was talking about him. I sent your man. I had him go to his girl, go to the hood and pick up a pound of weed from yo. You know what I mean? And they were supposed to give me half. Them niggas took everything. I said, man, I done smoked half of this shit already. I said, I told you that these are my friends, not yours. Right? You know what I mean? And I walked off, and that was it. I told him, just don't get nothing else and you good, because now you can't get nothing. You can't bring no gullible ass nigga around no B villains. You gotta act accordingly. And I respect it. I'm not one of them niggas. Oh no, niggas is wrong. Nah, goofy. I told you. So the nigga, cause I'm Harlem / B villain. I understand both worlds and love it. Both worlds. And it's beautiful. I love it. I love the combination. Nigga ain't tell me that he did a deal with them niggas, signed the contract, all that, raping you record shit. He ain't tell me nothing. I find out, cause these niggas is with me all day, every day, so ain't nothing no different. Whatever his is mine. So it ain't nothing for these niggas to be smoking with me till the gates close. Because we gonna do this any day, whether he get it, I get it, we fam. So, these niggas is, man, I'm blowing my socks off with this shit, no homo. And I'm like, damn, niggas got it. It's been about 4 days straight. You know, nigga ain't ran in the hallways asking for nothing or nothing. I ain't asking no motherfucking questions because I don't care, we just high in jail. So when you high in jail, you just high. You like to be, you appreciate that shit because you get like an escape. Not to sound like no fiend, we talking about marijuana. But anyway, now I might acknowledge, I used to call the nigga Nalo. Nalo was so official that after I found out the Charlie Wop nigga and shit, Nalo rubbed the nigga face off in front of me, right? But the way he did it was so, if you could call violence beautiful, that's the way he did it was beautiful. The guy, Knowledge was on some guard body shit, like, so, and he wasn't playing with that shit. You couldn't do no whack shit and talk that guard body shit to Knowledge. So the nigga Knowledge, they used to come to him with everything that happened concerning the body. So the guard body, so they came to the nigga and was like, yo, the homie next door sold a homie tea bags, faking like it was weed. And he like, word? He like, go get that shit. And they go get it. He like, what nigga did this? He said, the silly nigga, the guard, I think his name was True. That's funny how I remember his name while I'm telling the story. Couldn't remember that shit for shit. So the nigga said, yo, man, let me go out the gate. He told the bitch, open the gate. The girl opened the gate. He come out. That nigga come to the side. He said, yo, go get that nigga True. True came to the gate. It was about 20 niggas on the gate. Knowledge was guard body, but everybody that was around that nigga just was all types of other shit. But we just was niggas that was connected. So niggas is like whatever Knowledge doing, you know the people system. So niggas is looking and trying to see how Knowledge gonna handle it. This was his first vicious move. The nigga Knowledge called the nigga True, come to the gate. He's so calm. Remember I told you he walked like a leopard. This nigga was smooth. He was like a fox leopard type nigga. So he go up on the gate and he said, yo, guard, what's your name? And nigga was like, True, master guard, all of that other stuff. Knowledge was like, yeah, what's today mathematics? The nigga said, knowledge, board. It was something, equality. One of them. Yo, which you guard body lads? Which one of them shits represent being fair type shit? Equality, right?
Yeah.
What day is that? What's that? So we can
Equality
figure out
is,
what day he coming.
It's 6.
That's crazy. The devil number. That mother, I swear I had no idea. I don't know none of the math. I just respect it. That nigga said, what's today's mathematic? That nigga said equality. Son rubbed that nigga from his temple to his jaw cheek. He said, that's what you supposed to deal with when you say you God. And spent on that nigga, right? So I'm like, damn, and he tell a nigga, and then from a distance he telling them, you know you played yourself, now wear that shit, nigga. He said, don't rap, you God, right? He said, wear that shit, you know you violated. He said, peace to that nigga. The nigga said, peace back. I was like, oh my God. I go slide up in the joint. So now I'm looking at Knowledge, didn't look like he did nothing. He cut him like he was cutting the cake. You know how that shit was normal. He was right back to his smooth self. Like, that shit never happened. But it was stuck in my mind, all right. I was like, this nigga is dangerous because he looked like the nigga that you were introduced to your mom. His pants tucked in, shit like that. You understand? He looked like Maxwell cut the fuck up in 23. He was like real natural with it, with a gold tooth, a trim in his tooth. Me and him get real close and shit. A lot of people love me in there. So the nigga while we lock in, knowledge was not. I'm gonna get lost off of knowledge right now. Wherever you at, my man. I was on the floor. I held that nigga baby while he had his visits and shit. So, I know that nigga ain't just do that to have time with his chick, because he could have picked anybody to do that shit. That nigga walked past a couple of people and brought the baby to me. And I held the baby for probably an hour for that nigga. Not an hour, but a good percentage, because I gave him too much. I got about 20% of my visit, but my chick was on the baby anyway, so I ain't care. But that was his first licking. Now the next one is crazy. So while we up in the motherfucking block, we locked in. We hear some niggas saying, shut the fuck up. Shit like that. Niggas jump up. I'm like, oh shit, what's that? He's like, what? There ain't nobody out, but just the police when everybody locked in, and maybe the porter. So I'm like, what, this nigga beefing with a porter? But he clarifies himself with the next statement. The nigga's like, that niggas better ask about me. He was like, tell them niggas go pick that nigga up off of that floor right now. I'll knock your fucking teeth out too, right? So I'm like, oh, this nigga just knocked police out, and how they got this nigga coming in another house? He should be shackled and put in a cell somewhere. The box. Where the box at for this nigga? I don't see him though. But because you can't see, I just hear. But the wordplay from this nigga, you know it's Goliath. He's saying shit like, any of you niggas, you too. There's 2 cops out there. So I'm doing the math and everything for myself. Like, hold on. Who is this nigga? I'm like, you too? I'm like, them cops out there ain't that ass for a nigga to be saying you too, 1-on-2, right? I'm listening. I can't wait to see this nigga, right? I wasn't scared of no shit. That shit ain't got nothing to do with me, but I want to see this nigga because I'm just curious. They open the motherfucker. That nigga, he ends it with some, you been here about it. They let that nigga in the door, close the door. Son, this nigga went to the phones, it was like 4 phones in the 8. That nigga took all them shits off the shit. It was like 3 picnic tables back to back, each had a TV. He went to the front table. This was our table. He put the 4 phones on that shit. He cut the TV on. Niggas is still locked in. He said, don't nobody better touch these phones, or the TV. Right? So now I know niggas want to see who this nigga is, but everything is quiet, because the threats and the shit that's coming out of this nigga mouth, niggas is not scared yet. They just want to see who the fuck this nigga is. I know I did. I'm like, this nigga talking big King Kong shit. They open the cells. Now I come out, I rush. I want to see this. Sure enough, this nigga look like Lee Haney, nigga. He looked like the nigga from one of them pictures from one of them jail stories you got with the big chest. He'll make that nigga look like he in a choir. This nigga look like Lee Haney, muscles everywhere, bald head. This nigga so big that we going to chow. Me and my man Scar from Soundview, shout outs to Scar. We was tearing the H up to be little kids or adults. We was tearing that shit up. We wasn't cutting nobody or none of that shit. Me and Scar just was pressing niggas for weed. We was developing different systems to extort niggas in the middle staircase through the hole. We knew niggas was scared. I gotta tell y'all this. Me and Scar was professional extortionists. Can you imagine 2 little niggas shaking down and running through the building? We ain't had to touch nobody, but we robbing all types of shit. But how we extort niggas is, we used to listen for the cells when they call them shits every morning. 4 cell. You ready for bit 7? My nigga used to be in his cell with a paper and a pencil, writing all the visits. He'd write all of them niggas. So if 6 niggas got visits, 7 niggas, he'd be like, yo, 7 cell, 32. These the niggas on the other side. We ain't gotta worry about the niggas from my side. They straight paying already. Either we getting them or the homies. When I say homies, I just mean all our niggas. So, me and Scar used to call niggas through the hole and tell them, yo man, cause they had a little hole that was just like a peephole size, but not the little hole, like the whole peephole. It was a hole like that, but it was enough for you to see through it. So we'd be like, yo, come here. Go tell that nigga, 7 cell, come here. The nigga, whoever come up, nigga be like, 7, what up, nigga? Niggas be like, yo, where that's at? Nigga be like, yo, where what? Nigga, we know, nigga, where it's at. Nigga, we gonna tear your fucking face off. We'll show him a gun through the gate. And the nigga might not have it, but we're threatening, shake him to death. Then we be like, we know he ain't got it. We be like, yo, we just fucking with you. Go get 5 cell. So each nigga come, somebody folding. They sending that shit through the little hole. They not playing because they know the side we on, niggas get stabbed all day. So they know. And then plus my nigga Nalo ripped the nigga true face off for selling the shit. So anyway, what the fuck? Where was I at? So
you about to talk about the big nigga that came in. Y'all went to child.
So look, so the big nigga come, I didn't know the nigga name until after I told somebody the story recently, and them niggas told me who the nigga was. But this nigga, so me and Scar, this is why I brought all that Scar shit in, because I just wanted you to know that we was running through the building, because I gotta tell you this, because what we running through the building is crazy. So me and this little Soundview Projects, Lord of Guns, Lord Tariq, Peter Guns, loving ass nigga, Pistol Pete loving nigga, right? This my man, I love you boy, hope you alive and well anywhere. Well, so we in the hallway. While we in the fucking hallway, B, we get by the gym. And they got a big plaque inside the gym. Right? And they got trophies and shit. And there's one picture in the middle, a big picture. And the nigga, my son Scar said, oh shit. I said, what? He said, that's the nigga that's in the house. I said, you fucking lying. I thought it was Lee Haney. I'm like, nigga, that's Lee Haney. Where the fuck he win a competition at or something? Ain't no weights or shit in here that I remember. So the nigga was like, that's that nigga. So I looked. Right, I nobody confirmed it yet, but somebody just confirmed this shit to me a couple of months ago. So anyway, we come from that. This nigga was so big, he had pressure on the whole house. I ain't gonna lie to you. Niggas wasn't pussy, but niggas was like, huh?
No, I was laughing.
Yeah, niggas wasn't pussy. God, yo, niggas wasn't pussy, but niggas knew. I'ma just tell the story and let you see what it was. So anyway, niggas is coming to me and like, yo, man, what's up with that nigga? In the meantime, he done met me. He's Shorty, where you from? I'm from Harlem. So he like, word, little nigga, where you from? I tell him, where you eat? So he was from downtown somewhere. And I tell him, yeah, I've been at 12th Street, 14th, all that. You know, he knew Fritz, all them niggas. I thought he was Panama, or one of them ill niggas that I done seen from back in the days. And they just got all big, because he looked like one of them niggas. Cat face niggas. So I'm like, but... So he bonded with me and he's blowing with me crazy. Like, he got weed, shit, you could tell niggas, look, he got mad balloons, mad colors. Like, you could tell niggas done been giving this nigga weed every place he been, cause this nigga got mad different color balloons of weed and all types of shit. He pulling out his sock, he got a headband on him, dope in the headband. So the nigga, like, I'm telling him, yo, man, now nobody used the phone yet. I told you he took 4 phones. So I'm like, yo, man, this nigga, I ain't gonna lie, this nigga lasted 2 days with this shit. The niggas tried to reason with him, that's why, cause nobody wanted to get at him. Right? So, cause the nigga was too big. He was like a chopped black Incredible Hulk, man, literally. Luciferino wouldn't have been a big cry. He might be bigger because he got more cuts. I told you he looked like Lee Haney. So I was like, yo, I'm telling the nigga, I'm like, yo, man, those my people, B. He like, man, where them niggas from? I said, it ain't from Harlem. That's what he saying to me. Fuck them niggas. I'm like, look, I went to school. He like, man, you lucky you from Harlem. So I've never been a snake ass nigga. My friends are my friends, nigga. Satan couldn't trick me out of my homies, cause I die in peace. Long as I'm laughing with my friends, I don't give a fuck. So the nigga, but I'm looking and I'm like, I always have rules to me though. I always believe that if you didn't respect my friend, you didn't respect me. And I was big on that type of shit. Cause I told you, even though I was a little nigga, I had a little bit of thorn in my blood. Cause I traveled around with that hammer. And I slung that shit accordingly. But anyway, that's what I probably was in there too for. So anyway, the nigga, he just denying peace. And my niggas is asking for peace. They coming to me like, son, what's up with that nigga, right? That big elephant nigga, right? So I'm like, son, I don't know. I keep telling this nigga, son, he ain't trying to hear it. So them niggas is like, son, that nigga gotta go, right? I said, I already know, cause I done made up my mind. He gotta go. I ain't get to tell him this, but they saying it to me like, son, that nigga, I said, I know already. Like, he just nothing. He done, I tried 2 days. So niggas is like, damn, B. Nigga like, one of my niggas that went to my school, I forgot this nigga name. I think his name was Reese. I think he from Sally Matthews, right? Black, dark-skinned, square, fake Wesley Snipes looking nigga with a square head top. That nigga, wherever you at, nigga, I love you. That nigga came out, I think he was related to Reese too, man. Cause I might be saying his name wrong, but I'm sure this nigga went to school with me. The nigga looks, he said, yo, man. He said, I'm getting them, but I feel sorry for the first 6 niggas that touched that nigga, right? So niggas is like, he said, I'll get him, but I ain't setting it on him. And mad niggas is like, me neither. I ain't nobody agreed to set it. So niggas is like, who gonna get him then if ain't nobody gonna pop on him? He said, you better get 4 of these dummies, right? But it wasn't no dummies. Everybody was peoples. So niggas like, yo, man, the nigga knowledge just came out of his cell out of nowhere. I'ma get the nigga, man. Niggas is, I'm like, oh shit, and this nigga the skinniest nigga in the world. I told you he remind me of a cheetah. That's how smooth this nigga was. He said, yo, I'ma get this nigga. He said, but when I touch this nigga, whoever don't follow up, I'm tearing your asses up. I said, oh, this nigga brave, but he ain't stupid. He said, y'all niggas better pop immediately. And he peeled. So niggas, everybody quiet, like, oh shit. Nalo said he gonna handle this nigga. So I'm sitting back watching. We go in the cell, we lock in, lock in. Niggas lock in. When we lock in, I'm like, I wonder what this nigga gonna do. I'm like, I wonder what he gonna do to this big nigga here. Cause he can't make no mistakes. That nigga was like James Toney fighting Klitschko. Right? You can't make no mistakes. You might as well be fighting a nigga with a knife or 2. So anyway, the nigga, we locked in. They open the cells. Niggas come out the cell. Yo, I look, Nalo slid out. He was, you know how you shake a bottle to make it bubble and pop? Mm-hmm. He had a little fist-sized object in his hand, and he was shaking it by his hair like dice. And I'm like, what the fuck, this nigga? And sure enough, big man came out. He went right in front of the first table, in front of the TV. Nalo tapped that nigga on his shoulder and said, yo, big man. When the nigga turned around, he sprayed some shit in his eye. That nigga said, ah! Niggas start hitting them with everything. Mop buckets, scrubbers, ringers. Boogity boogity bingity boom, boom, bangity boogity bingity boom, boom, bing, boogity bang, boogity yo, a silence fell upon the whole area, right? Damn near the ground shake, right? Nigga looked down, son, this nigga had the biggest knot I ever seen in my life and blood gushing everywhere, and he pissed and shitted on himself, right? That nigga wasn't moving or nothing. I hope these niggas ain't kill this nigga. The nigga came in, boom. When they come in, they take him. Shit everywhere. You see all types of instruments of war. He lucky nobody hit that nigga with a knife, amazingly. So now they took the nigga out. After that, man, you know, that shit just was so fucking crazy. But I wasn't turning on my niggas. You know what I mean? Even under the gun. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, that I never believed in that. I always believe your friends are your friends. Like, you know what I mean? Don't let the guy with money come around and now you trading your brother, your mother. Niggas is whack as fuck. They, you know, I had a statement that I used to say. They might as well slide down poles the way they act like hoes. You know, cause motherfuckers, they see a nigga got 10 bags, they wanna help him. Nigga got 3 bags, they not helping the nigga with 3 bags. You got 7 niggas jumping out their beds. You know that's some home, that's whack. And I used to see that, and I'd be like the next guy, cause they know he getting money. I used to be like, yo, why you ain't helping him? I'd be the guy to go help the nigga that got 2 bags. You know what I mean? But HDM was a crazy place. There was a lot of people in there, like I said. This other nigga named Shy from motherfucking...
What happened with that kid, though? They moved him to another block in HDM, or they got him out of HDM?
Man, that nigga was history. I've never seen him again. I never seen him. I never heard his name. I didn't know who he was. But to get back to him, a couple of months ago, I was telling the kid this story, and he remembered the picture in the hallway, and he was like, he said, and I was like, wow, that's crazy, because I was telling him I didn't know who the dude was, and the way that nigga looked, I know that's him, because there's no other name. You couldn't even call this nigga John Rambo. Shout out to John Rambo. And John Rambo name was one of the biggest names I ever heard in my life, affiliated with that Rikers Island shit. You wouldn't even, son, you know, this nigga's monstrous, you know? And when he said, I was like, yeah, that gotta be the dude. His senses wasn't proper, because if a child could tell you, yo, but that's my friends, man, I would have turned away, man. I'd have been like, all right, he didn't need all them phones. He didn't need all that shit. That was too much. He didn't have to do that. Once I told that nigga that was my friends, and all them people was my friends, we supposed to respect my friends. But, you know, and then I thought about it when he was not respecting my friends. I'm like, it's like the message is I do what I want. No, you can't do what you want to me. What if he thinks he could do what he wants to me? You know, so overall, that nigga showed himself to be a problem. And, you know, niggas handled that nigga, packed that nigga up and back him out. But just to shout out some of the niggas that was in the motherfucking house with me. Rest in peace to my nigga, HB, Harlem Black, man. I love you, boy. You know, just the fact of you surviving in that house like the other nigga didn't. And it wasn't because you was a gangster nigga. Even though you do deserve gangster flowers too, boy. You know, but, you know, what was remarkable about him was he was everything that kid got robbed for. You know what I mean? And HB was such a funny nigga. They got, if you ever want to see who HB is, the nigga from State Property, Smokey. They got backseat clips of one of the movies. And my son HB in the back roasting them up and shit. It's one of them Dame Dash movies. My man the nigga Smokey couldn't even fuck with HB. You know, and the way you see him in that clip or whatever is the way he was. He was a funny nigga, man. He was like me. He come from my motherfucking camp. Shout outs to all the Thriller Crew niggas, the niggas that know, niggas that don't know, the niggas that slow. You know what I'm saying? It's all good, man. Shout outs to my nigga OG Daniel. Shout outs, rest in peace to Tim. Rest in peace to Bo. Rest in peace to I'm saying rest in peace before I find a name. Cause I know so many niggas we done lost up in that mups. Rest in peace to the nigga John Riddles. You know what I'm saying? You know? But let me get to my Brooklyn shit, man, because that's what this one is about. This belong to Brownsville, Harlem, so I'm on my villain shit. You know what I mean? Shout outs to all my friends, my childhood friends, man, that never fucking forgot me. That you know, I'm not gonna say I was the illest nigga in America. Without y'all niggas, my HDM trip probably wouldn't have been so much fun. I know that for a fact. You know what I'm saying? Shout outs to my nigga Capone. I don't know where you at. My nigga Craig with the twin brother and all that. That nigga remember my whole family, everything. So you was like my brother in there. You know what I'm saying? From the H to the Beacon. Capone blood too. Y'all get in the comments. You know what I mean? Find that nigga for me. Let me see. Shout outs to who else was over there, man? My nigga Shy that was in the H. Shy was from Brooklyn, ran with me all day. Shy the nigga that robbed the nigga, the Harlem nigga, my man from Harlem. Shy, I love you too, boy. You know I love you because I couldn't get mad at you for that shit. I told him he wouldn't listen. He was running around every time Nate's video come on. Only you, my cousin, right, Ryder? And I'm like, damn, why this nigga doing all this silly shit, bro? I know he hearing this shit. Man, this my nigga though. I love him to death, but this is the shit that was in his drawers. He got good drawers now. This nigga get money. He a fly nigga with a fat stomach, always smiling somewhere. You know what I mean? And he deserved to be a good person. He just was in the elephant cage, and he ain't know how to dance around elephants. You know, so I don't take nothing from him. It's not the shit on him. But you did shit on me. What if I was pussy, or my hands wasn't heavy, and you told them niggas I snaked you and somebody got at me? You know, but just thank God I was above being pressed. You know what I'm saying? Because that could have felt bad for me. And you know, but it's all good. I forgive you, man. I forgive you. Them niggas knew I was a wolf before I got in there, so, you know, they never knew what happened. I know y'all niggas hearing this shit too. You know what I mean? I'm mad I thought about it late because I would have sneak shouted some of the niggas out because I love these niggas. You know what I mean? But matter of fact, let's go. Shout outs. Shout outs to my nigga Dick, man. Shout outs to my nigga Dick. What's his brother name? My nigga Russ. All my niggas from 14th. Papoose and them niggas up on Sugar Hill. Shout outs to all them niggas, man. You know what I mean? I love you, boy. You know what I mean? One to grow on, nigga. I smash another nigga for you. But those is my friends. You just ain't understand that Brooklyn love. You probably do now. As an adult. You know, it's rules to that Brooklyn shit. It's rules to that B-villain shit. You gotta carry yourself like you a man. You can't be goofy, silly. And you got a whole pocket full of fucking donuts and everybody's starving.
Man, we got the highest incarceration rate in the world, man. Louisiana, and we got the smallest population. Tell me that don't sound like a slave state to you, a concentration camp as a state. You got the most prisons built in the world.
They made everybody get vaccinated. Like everybody in there had to get vaccinated.
Before they started the vaccine, like, you know, like as we watching the world news, like, you know, they trying to come up with a vaccine. You know, they just test. And he was giving my $5, like $5. To get the COVID vaccine.
What was the first jail you went to in New Orleans? Like, Was it that it was OPP?
Yeah, they got this, you know, like you got all of it OPP, but you like got the main branch of OPP, like, you know, like Orleans Parish Prison Jail. You have like probably like 4 or 5 different branches, like Conchetta, Temperament 5, you know, like House of D, HOD, you got, you know, the tents, you know, you got all of them. I come to jail when I was 16, so I couldn't really like go around too many adults until I made like 17. They sent me to House of D, but I was a Temperament 5. That was like real chaotic, wild young niggas and shit. You know, like everybody 16 on bodies and shit, Temperatures on robbers and shit. You know, niggas just feeling like the gangster way to way. You know what I'm saying? Wild and fighting going on, jigging and shit. You know, like simple shit, but you know, like when I got in the population on the adult level, you know, like shit was getting like extra heated. Like I understood that there was a whole nother level of being a man. Like, you know, like, so I was like young, wild, whatever they was calling it, you know, I looked at it like, fuck, I gotta stand up, I ain't gonna live in this bitch, I gotta survive. You know what I'm saying? Like, they got confrontation with niggas on the streets and shit, you know, you got niggas with stress on their chest, depression and shit, niggas walking around with chips on their shoulders. You know, fuck, I feel like I gotta be the biggest motherfucker in here. But my experiences in that bitch, like, man, shit just, like third world country level, man. You know, like food garbage and shit, you know, jail shit, but you know, like you see on TV, like overseas jail living, like Russian shit, you know, mold and shit.
What year was it when, like, the first time you went up in there?
This was in March 2010. It was my first time coming to jail. March 10, I came to jail on first degree murder, conspiracy to first degree murder. And like 3 fall partners. A couple of niggas went home. My man Jerk, you know, he held it down or whatever. One of my co-defendants, this nigga wound up squilling. So fuck, I fought my charge for 6 years in OPP, man.
Damn.
6 years I fought that shit, man. It all turned out I caught 35 years at the end of the day. You know, due to the witness, you know, for some co-defendant shit, rat shit, but I made it to like DOC, the Department of Corrections. And that's on a whole nother level too. You know, you got niggas moving and shit. Niggas more mobile, so you know niggas can get access to gasoline, lawnmowers, you know, like all kind of shit. You know, niggas can move. They got all type of extra shit that you couldn't get when you confined to the system at OPP. The first jail I went to, like coming upstate, was Winfield, Louisiana. This is like one of the worst jails in Louisiana at this time, like over a 5-year span. So this bitch at least averaging 75 jiggers a day, no cap, man. This bitch averaging at least 75 jiggers a day. They had a federal nigga, like this nigga went undercover and came work there just to come see the inside part of this shit, man. I mean, one time we went on a ride in that bitch, dog. We went on a ride in that bitch. They had, it was our canteen day one day. The SARS ain't want to let one guy go to canteen. It's some mediocre shit, you know, passing words. They wound up passing words. They wound up punching SARS in his shit. And he punched SARS in his shit. They locked the whole unit down. Like, they cut the power off. The GP machine, nobody can go to canteen shit. We hungry in this bitch, we about to buck. We want a bucket in that bitch, everybody masked up, tie the doors down. Big gorilla looking ass nigga, this nigga done picked up about 4 racks, put them to the front door. They call a hostage, they call like a hostage negotiator to come talk to us. This is an inmate living with us on another tip. Got like 6 chairs in one dome, like in one unit. Like they got this nigga asking up, man, what y'all need, what y'all problem is? Like, man, we won't go to commissary, we trying to eat. The fuck y'all think y'all about to shut everything down because of one incident? Like, we used to put soap all on the floors and shit, water everywhere and shit, like we waiting on them to come through the door. They spraying mace all in the motherfucker, you know, like they got guys, you know, they got niggas who ain't riding nothing, you know, like at the end of the day, niggas turned out to get your ass bust. Like, you ain't gonna be able to live around us. You know, like after that type of shit going on, it's a unity thing going on, man. I was like one of the most fucked up situations I was in for a Department of Corrections, being confined so close with chaotic shit. That's OPP all day, but as far as being mobile and like, it's like we on the street more. Niggas just got knives and razors and shit. Like, you gotta watch your back, like everywhere you go, nigga got jobs and shit. You know, like me growing up in the system, after having a 35-year sentence, like, my mind ain't even get a chance to register my sentence yet. I'm still on like, man, be a man at the end of the day, man. You know, you got time, you won't go, you going home, you fighting to go home, but, you know, be a man at the end of the day.
So how much time you ended up doing altogether?
Right now I've been in jail since 2010. That's 11 years and some change. March made 12 years for me, man. They gave me 35 years. Fucking lawyers told me I was getting 65%. I was gonna have to do 65% of 35. At the time I've been out 6 years. So I'm like, all right, cool, I can deal with that. You know, like, I know the circumstances of my situation. Like, you know, I can deal with that. Come to find out, I get the DOC, I got my rap sheet. It's been saying 85% of 35. I'm fucked up. I'm like, damn, man, like, I'm gonna do 27 years, like, you know, 85%. It's like 27 and some shit. In my mind, like, how the fuck I'm gonna do all that time? I'll get in my legal work and shit, post-conviction and shit. You know, they denied that shit, you know. So many loopholes in the case, though. I got this lawyer right now just trying to work for me right now, man. You know. Other than that, man, I just been like a nigga that came to jail 16 years old, growing up in this bitch at the same time, fighting to get out. Never got a chance to channel none of the shit that I knew I could do from a positive perspective. I'm coming to realization at least I ain't gonna last about 4-5 years, you know, building my mind right, you know, like tapping into the thing that I neglect. Yeah, man, but so hope up enough shit gonna get better, man.
Yeah, my bro, hold on now. Where's you saying you still in the can right now?
Fucking right, nigga.
Ah, man, I ain't even know that, my nigga. Ah, man, you still on that same bed that when you was locked up with Squeak?
Man, I'm on that same bed that I did with Squeak and HOD.
Damn,
same bed, nigga.
Damn, bro, I ain't even know you was still in the clink, my nigga. Real talk.
Right, man. Talking to this lawyer, man, I'm trying to get back in on Act. We got some shit called Act 104, ineffective system counseling. The lawyer telling me I was getting 65, I got 85. It's like an automatic automatic overturn of a sentence. At the time, you know, fuck, I'm what, 22 when I took the sentence? I don't know nothing about court, man. You know, like, fuck. You got so much chaotic shit going on in Orleans, man. Niggas ain't in no cases like that. Like, you got the money for a good lawyer, you just in that bitch waiting to get dunked up, trying to come out the best way from public defenders and shit.
Yeah, bro, that shit is it's mad people that's in there that ain't get a chance to really fight their case.
Fuck yo, man, it's like at an all-time high, man. Like, you got so many niggas in here like that come young. Cases bullshit, been lied on, you know, like, you know, at the end of the day, you got niggas who committed crimes and shit, but you know, like, majority of Louisiana, like, niggas got time over sentenced and shit. You got niggas got 35 years for 5 bags of weed and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got niggas 16 coming to jail, 14, 15, catching 100 and some years and shit. Like, you know, it's still this Napoleon law shit, man. You got this old ass Napoleon law shit going on. Administration fucked up. It's like a clan thing going on out here. You know, it's the South, man. You know, they still got this racism shit going on. You don't see slavery at an all-time high. Every one of these DOC facilities you go to.
In the jail you in now, like, what's the percentage you think is black motherfuckers?
Yeah, Right now it's like 95% black motherfucker. No lines, right? It's like 95% black motherfucker. Like oppression at an all-time high. This motherfucker. Smack shit and fuck the game up. You know, like, man, in these times right now, I look at the black people that's in here, and I look at the oppression level from the top, like the head of the like administration here, like, you know, it's like all white people, like at the top, like Klan shit, you know, like black people. You don't know, like you ask anybody in this prison, like you ask anybody in here, how the administration is. The white people raises, the black people work for the white people, the black people oppressing us. You know what I'm saying? They got this mess shit going on, niggas losing their minds, these late in the game, like, they got this shit and all epidemic going on, man. Everybody feeding their body with net and this synthetic ass weed shit.
That K2 shit is running rampant in there too?
And that K2 shit, man, lies. You get a sheet of paper, a school paper, nigga. You can get one sheet of school paper, hit that motherfucker with K2, that motherfucker go for $1,000 in this motherfucker. Wholesale. $1,000, you break that bitch down to stamp size and postage stamp size. You gonna see $5,000, no cap. It's the #1 seller in Louisiana jails. K2, man.
I just did a story about that with a dude who just came home from the can in New York, and he told me the same thing. That shit is out of control in there.
Yeah, man, that shit is like an all-time high. You know, niggas, it's like an anesthesia. It's like a form of anesthesia. Like niggas being trances. Like, you know, watch nigga going that shit. Nigga don't hear nothing, can't see nothing. You know, they just out. They look like niggas was on dope in the 80s when they going to duck. This is like an hour duck, dude. Yeah, man, they like that shit around here, man. That mess shit, these niggas out here, man. Everybody spooking his walk. You got all the black people looking like, you know, you been up for 10 days straight. You been watching this same nigga for 10 days straight. Eventually, if you got a knife in your hand, you got any kind of weapon, you gonna attack that nigga. That's the war drug, man. Niggas use that shit to stay up to watch niggas. And then after they been up for so long watching a nigga, he can't come to nothing else but attack. Shit going on all day, man. Shit out of control.
That shit crazy, bro. Are you in contact with like your family? Like you got people coming to check you and all of that in there?
Yeah, you know, my family do what they can do, you know, in a circumstance, a situation, man. You know, my girl take care, you know, mainly most of everything for me. You know, my family do what they can do. They here. I got a nice support team. Like big financial funds for us, like lawyer money and shit, like that shit be on pause. Like, you know, I got my mans them out there. You know, niggas do what they can do. Everybody trying to make it as, you know, a whole as black people. You know what I'm saying? Like, I do what I can do for myself as a man. When I can do it, you know, then that I'm in a situation that I'm in, I try the best to do what I can do. You know, me have wait shit for my lawyer or whatever. I try to do that whenever I can do that. Most of man, my queen do everything for me. Though, like, you know, I'm in contact. I be trying to reach out most of the like this prison reform shit, man. Like our living conditions, like this shit trash. Like this shit headquarters right here. Man. This is Elaine Hunt's Correctional Facility. This the headquarters to all the DOC facilities in Louisiana, and this the worst one.
You said the living conditions in there is tore down?
Man, this shit tore up, man. This shit tore up. Niggas setting fires on, man. Niggas set fires every day in this motherfucker, man.
What is one man's is single cells?
Yeah, you know, like you got extended lockdown. You might have the dungeon. That's, you know, that's like intake for when niggas first get locked up on a new charge. Like, you know, if they was on a dorm or something. They got it's sectioned off with tier, like A tier, B tier, C tier. They got 16 cells on every tier. You know, they got certain extended lockdown tiers where it's just one man cells because you got access to all your property and all your privilege. You get to make commissary and shit. They got the TVs and shit. That's the tier that I'm on now. you like a step away from going to the working cell block. That's in another building. The section off A, B, C, D. You got the entry to the dungeon. That's 2-man cells. You know, they can't have no property or none of them niggas like ass naked with jumpers on and shit. And mattresses, no blankets or nothing.
Wow, why they got them like that?
Yeah, fuck, they feel like it's the dungeon. That's how they call it. You know, like it's a strip. You know, if they call it like a strip tip.
But that's like that. It's some disciplinary shit. Like that's where niggas go. Like it's like keep lock or some shit.
Yeah, it's disciplinary. Like you might say that's the hole. That's the hole right there. Like that's the hole. But you know, fuck, if it's freezing, you know, they got the windows open all day. I ever feel outside, I feel inside, right? You know, like, they got the windows open all day. Right now, it's every bit of 30-something degrees in this bitch. You gonna feel, however you feel outside, it's like you sleeping under a bridge. So them niggas over there right now, I get 4 or 5 niggas from over there right now. Them niggas ain't got no sheets, blankets, or nothing. Them niggas balled up with jumpers on, man. Streaming for clothes from niggas from all these says I be having to send niggas shit. You know, nigga probably send them shit or whatever, man. But yeah, they got another suicide shit in the building. You know, A till like the whole B till suicide for like crazy niggas, you know, or whatever like that. Them niggas ass naked over there. You know, they can't have nothing. They suicidal nigga. D till it's another extended lockdown till like this. No TVs, no commissary, but you know, like you can make like hygiene, cosmetics and shit. 2-man cells, you know, right here where I'm at. I've been at this jail since January. I've been like in a lockdown system since I got here. Like, you know, it's like new generation shit going on. Like by me being in jail, like all these years, you know, I watched the eras. You see what I'm saying? Like I watched eras of different men. Like, you know, like I always been under niggas like 40, 41, you know, like 44. You know, like even when I was young, I always been around them niggas like getting old law insight. You know, so I watched them niggas like leave out the system, you know, like niggas got good jobs and shit, you know, doing their family man shit. I watched this new shit, you know, like this Indian young boy era shit, you know, like everybody got this Mad Max shit, you know, it's different. Niggas don't care about, ain't no morals or principles in this shit. I have to get back on subject though, but nigga like fires in this bitch every fucking day because nigga can't get security attention. 16 cells, you got 2 security officers working in the middle of 4 tiers with 16 cells, 2-man cells. You got 2 sergeants, a male and a female, sit on their fucking ass all day. They holler for tissue, you know, like knick-knack job shit, mail call, you know, they don't even do mail call like that. They gotta light a fire to get their attention. You light a fire by the time they come, the whole fucking tip smoked out. You confined in cells, they don't call medical attention, no medical attention, no treatment for smoke inhalation. No fire alarms be going off in this bitch. I never evacuated us since I've been here. I've been around every bit of 16, 17 fires. They get lit every day. One of the bitches got lit today. They get lit every day whenever they don't come down the tip. Motherfucker hollering and screaming for you. They light a fire to get their attention like that. But it get a big one, a little one, depending on the individual. Not so much footage on that fire shit, it's a shame. Fans and shit, dust samples and shit, all type of shit, man. That shit unsanitary. You motherfuckers don't give a fuck about nothing, man. Shit like the Young and the Restless mixed with the Carter of New Jack City or something.
Nah, it's not even funny, but that shit is crazy, bro.
Yeah,
in 2021, man, I mean, with as much money goes into the prison system, motherfuckers shouldn't be living like that, man.
Like these bitches getting grant money, like these motherfuckers, like it's like you have like the head motherfuckers come from the headquarters to walk around and monitor the jails and shit going on. Mm-hmm. You know, niggas supposed to be in classes and shit. You know, niggas supposed to have like rehabilitation programs and shit. They don't have that, like this shit, like at a minimum. So like when the people like DOC will come walk around the monitor, School call, motherfucking lieutenants, captains coming through talking about school call and shit. Like you got school going on, pull full motherfuckers out, bring them into class, slap a piece of paper on the desk. You know, all these important looking ass people walking in feeling like, you know, like we going to class, like some shit going on. You know, these motherfuckers getting signatures for anger management, substance abuse, parenting, you know, like, you know, all kind of classes like that. Once they get you a signature, that's the grant money, man. That shit going right into the pocket of the administration. They ain't feeling nothing back in the jail. Anytime motherfucking need sheets, blankets, toothpaste, toothbrushes, you know, like mediocre shit that nigga entitled to the policy, you know what I'm saying? Shit make it even harder on a nigga living conditions. You know, once a man can't eat, he trying to go eat on another plate. He trying to get some shit off another plate. By any means necessary, nigga protect the area, the air, and everything else he got. Man, the shit he's limited to. Like you said, though, this late in the game, 2021. Man, I ain't.
How that did y'all get hit with the COVID shit up in there heavy?
Oh man, don't even get me started on that COVID shit. Oh man, COVID. See, that was the transition in the system overall. The pandemic that put a whole new perspective on jail from the administration, and it put a whole new set of negativity in the minds of all black people in the system, because it's like it made shit move. I ain't gonna say it freer, but like it just, like everything got more plentiful, whether it's cell phones or drugs or whatever. So you know you got motherfuckers who so greedy behind money. You know everybody getting stimulus checks and shit. You know, you get $1,500 check from the government. Niggas that was crackheads, you know, like dope heads in that world. You know, niggas who never had shit. Like, you know, these motherfuckers got $4-5 grand now sitting on their books account.
What you mean? They was giving niggas benefits while they in the can?
Fucking right, man. You know, niggas still getting that shit, man.
What?
I never got now one government check. I never got one stimulus check. I didn't get one of the motherfuckers. I was trying to get that shit.
So hold on, people was legally getting their stimulus money in the can?
Man, legally, they came up with a call out, nigga. They came up with a call out. If you want your stimulus check, come sign your name up. They had niggas getting their shit, and they had niggas who wasn't getting their shit. Why you think all that shit was going to the niggas that wasn't getting their shit? Why you think that shit was going? It was set up through the jails. Like, niggas got, man, they got niggas walking around. They got niggas who never looked back from that shit, like, who ain't never had nothing. Like, you got niggas really walking around with like 15 grand and shit, whether they flipped it or not, whether it was some stimulus money or whatever. You know, like, niggas walking around straight, like, you know, like, and it was legally, like they said, God, they was legally doing that shit from the start of the pandemic. Oh, man, motherfuckers would donate masses, man. Motherfuckers would donate masses, hand sanitizer. I'm talking about, like, you know, they had to change the diet and, like, put more vegetables and fruits on plates. Like, we wasn't eating right. You know, these motherfuckers coming to work with no masks on. That was the whole pandemic. No masks on. You know, these motherfuckers coming to work with no masks on. Even after the COVID shit, like kind of, like, blew over a little bit, you know, and the vaccine came out. You know, like, we was looking at it like, all right, you know, they still got motherfuckers out there who vaccinated. You know, like, catching COVID again. You know, just because you vaccinated, that probably mean, you know, like, that means you can't get infected, but you still gonna be a carrier. You know, like, you can contact trace, you know, like, it can be that. Well, that's at risk. Like, we like, man, what the fuck? Like, what we supposed to do?
They made everybody get vaccinated. Like, everybody in there had to get vaccinated.
Let me fuck you up right quick. Man, these motherfuckers, before they started the vaccine, like, you know, like, as we watching the world news and shit, like, you know, they trying to come up with a vaccine, you know, they just testing shit. Man, these motherfuckers was giving motherfuckers $5, like $5 to get the COVID vaccine.
Before it was even out like that?
And you can see, we'll tell these niggas you can get $5 if you get the vaccine. You know how many niggas went up there and got that shit? That shit fucked me up, man. And this was before they came out with the real deal, you know, Modernas and, you know, all that shit. Like, you got niggas in this bitch knew, like, man, that's test shots and shit, man. They trying shit on niggas, man. $5 to get a vaccine shot? What the fuck nigga gonna do with $5? You can't even get a box of noodles with $5 in this bitch.
That's unbelievable.
And it wasn't feeding nigga right in this motherfucker. Like, yeah, nigga on lockdown. That showed them when they saw that they could lock everything down and like loosen up the restrictions on like contraband and shit. Phones would be going for $600, $700, $800. Cause everybody got stimulus money. If you got a $1,500 fresh $1,500 stimulus check, man, you know, like, you ain't about to pay $500 for this flat screen, this phone or whatever, you know. Phones, $600 starting. That's the starting rate for phones in this business. This is not even the shades. 2-3 years ago, them bitches was going for $250 and shit, $150 and shit. Yeah, man, like administration, like, and these niggas work with the people in this bitch. Like, administration control everything that go on in this bitch far as on a level. If you ain't hustling with these motherfuckers, then you ain't eating. Like, I never been the nigga to get down like that with the people, man. Like, it's the new shit though, you know, they ain't got no morals in this shit. I mean, you know, if you got niggas daddies dead, niggas daddy 50, 60 something years old, you know the eras that they come out, the 60s, the 70s, the 80s. You know, like the early 90s, you know, you got niggas, you got men and, you know, like even nigga drum-ons, like, you know, like born in the 30s, the 40s, 50s and shit, you know, like, it give you certain set of teachings on from a moral value perspective. Everybody think this shit about money now, like, everybody looking for money, like, shit like a Game of Thrones going on around here, man. Like, I'm a gingerbread man, me lies, man, like, you gotta catch me. I don't give a fuck about the law side, the downside, like, me joining forces with the police, that'll never happen. I could never even build myself to do that. So it's like, right now, it's like at a standstill for me. Like, I stay down until I come up, wherever I go at, man. You know, like, I know one thing, I've been a real man, a real nigga, you know, like, throughout the process, like, of me growing up. So I know one thing. You know, real men still around, you know, they just ducked off right now. You know, they just ducked off in the midst of all this fuck shit from whether it's in jail or in the world. You know, nigga reached out. Like, Sweet reached out, man. That shit fucked me up. You know, like, if you're from a nigga like that, he reached out, like, after all them years, like, you know, like, we was in that bitch. I can see out my mouth, like, Sweet ain't lying out one time. Like, he came in that bitch, ain't talking to no niggas. Fresh pair of 95 Air Max, you know. I looked at it and I seen, like, all right, dude, ain't from around here. You know, I fuck with Styles P, kissing them. You know, I know the persona of a nigga from New York. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like, down here, you know, they'll smell blood. We ain't from down here. Like, me, on the other hand, I never been a nigga, like, just, like, do shit just to do shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause of where a nigga from. Like, you know, I'm gonna fuck with the realest shit out of every situation. And if it's not, you know, I'm gonna make sure, like, if it's a facade going on, I have to see the realest thing out of the situation. Like, even if it had involved me back then going the distance, even having to get into a nigga, fight a nigga or whatever, you know, like, so saying all to say though, there's no morals in this shit, so it's more like a race for money thing with the police. Like, you know, you got niggas in position, you know, with the police, you know, like, it's more so like, niggas don't give a fuck who they sell shit to, what kind of shit they sell. Fuck it, I need that nigga money right now. You know, like, the pandemic boosted the level of money up. Like, you know, like, it was a level, like, you know, before it was like, nigga average savings is like 10 grand, you know, like pitching off, you know, like pitching off 3 grand, like spreading out, taking care of their girl, family, children, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, trying to get them 3 grand back or whatever like that. But it's like more of a like nigga savings at like 50 grand and shit, 30 grand and shit. You know, like if you a nigga that you save like that and shit, but niggas racing for money around this bitch, man. You know, it's like the Hunger Games going on, man. You know, you got real men. You got the real men just sitting back, you know, like understanding how free the court system is, laws and shit that's coming up. You know, you got first-time violent offenders, 65% shit. When shit getting retroactive, you know, the system getting, you know, from the criminal justice perspective, you know, like they loosening up a little bit, you know. All niggas doing is like laying back, you know, like trying to file on lawsuit shit, you know, like unsanitary practice, you know, like cruel and unusual punishment. You know, like, you know, nigga rights to practice their religion and shit like that, you know, like they get so caught up, like administration gets so caught up in the money part of the jail, like, you know, they forget about a nigga requirements coming into the system, like, you know, whether it's rehabilitation, whether it's necessities that niggas supposed to have due to the policy in this bitch. Like, they forget about all that shit. That create an uproar within the men in the system. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody else basically running around mad. Niggas ain't hustling niggas on Met, a Mojo, K2 around this bitch. Nigga ain't on that, like, niggas walking around this bitch on that Met, like, spooking off of niggas, like, feeling like nigga about to do him something.
Niggas in there fucking with that crystal meth you talking about?
Fuck with that crystal, man. They call it that glass, that glizzy, that ice.
Damn, niggas smoking that glass shit in the pen?
The niggas, man, they got some niggas, you know, you got some veterans like white niggas, you know, them niggas smoke that shit, but you know, average like niggas snorting that shit, like putting that shit in their coffee, you know, like that, like these niggas walking around geeked up all day because it's a different breed of niggas, like, you know, it's a different breed of niggas, like, you know, like these niggas, like this new shit is like, these niggas, like, if you ain't say how much you got on your cash app or how many niggas you killed, you know what I'm saying, these niggas feel like you ain't nobody. You know, you got men like me, like, I know everything. I've been through, like, flawless in this motherfucker. Like, man, I know one thing, man. Like, I know how much skill, like, I know the level of like, aggressiveness. I know what I'm going to do with niggas. So, you know, I'm trying to refrain from that. Being in jail 11 and something years, like, knowing I got a lot more to get out this bitch. Like, me knowing that, like, man, how would I look? Like, fucking a nigga up to the capacity, like a nigga that I know for sure. Like, you on all false coverage drugs. Like, you on crystal meth, that's false coverage shit to me. Like, if you ain't doing none of that shit you doing on that shit, when you off that shit, then that should be the truth right there. You know what I'm saying? Niggas walk around on that shit all day, so you gotta look at, basically, you know the level of heightened like, on edge, like, you got the real men like boxing themselves up, like, man, you get around this shit if I fuck around and stay in jail. Cause these niggas mind, like, these niggas don't even have their own mind. These niggas gonna keep themselves in this bitch. Shit, like, this shit it just be like a thing of, you gotta think for yourself and the next man, like, twice as harder than you would have back then. And it was different set of mindsets, a different type of understanding. All these niggas know is music, meth, and K2. And when you don't got it, these niggas act like the ultimate. These niggas got like a boulder or withdrawals on his shoulder, like. You know what I'm saying? That shit busting nigga black people as a whole.
Now let me ask you, my bro, when I put this out, is it gonna be a problem with talking about how niggas is on K2 and meth and shit? Is niggas gonna feel a certain kind of way, like, oh, this nigga on YouTube calling us drug addicts and shit like that?
Man,
like,
live. Man, fuck these niggas, live. Like, nigga ain't gonna tell me a motherfucking thing. Nigga gonna be clapping, you know? Like, long as the real niggas clap, like, man, it don't matter what nobody else say, like, man, fuck. To each his own, you know, that's life. You got winners, losers, drug dealers, and abusers, fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, if a nigga can't own up to what the fuck they doing, like, man, nigga need to stop doing what the fuck they doing. Or, like, I want to be a bitch or something. You see what I'm saying?
my man was telling me the same shit about the shit going on in New York with that K2 shit, and I was telling him like, you know, because he was feeling a little bit like, yeah, I don't want to say too much. You feel what I'm saying? And I'm telling him like, you know, niggas need saving in that motherfucker if they on shit like that.
Thing. That's the ultimate thing, man. You don't have nobody like. There's oppression. Like if you, I got a phone. I build all day, man. You know, like I got books in this bitch, man. You know, like I read Torah all day, man. You know, like I'm a Yahwist, man. I'm like, you know, I got the book right now with this nigga Damon John, The Power of Broke. You know, I'm building. You know, I build, man. I got all kind of little shit up there. I write. You know, I'm writing a little book right now. You know, like life experiences and shit. You know, like my family keep asking me to write a book. Like I drink, but I rap, I do all kind of shit, man. You know, like everything I knew I could have did, that the streets is holding me back from. You know, like as far as that, but you know, like as far as these niggas, man, these niggas don't even understand that they being oppressed. You know, like Harriet Tubman said, she freed thousands of slaves to free thousands of more. All that they know they were slaves, bro. Man, we got the highest incarceration rate in the world, man. Louisiana, and we got the smallest population. Tell me that shit don't sound like a slave state to you, a concentration camp as a state. You got the most prisons built in the world. This motherfucker got the most prisons built in the world. And 85% of the population over sentenced falsely convicted. Now you know niggas get down and shit like, but you know, half of them fucking cases like a murder charge and shit, they don't have no suspects, you know, they don't have no witnesses or nothing. Motherfucker just be sticking shit to niggas because you know, like, nigga come out of poverty, you know for sure. This nigga ain't got no money from no lawyer. You know, like, we watching who come in the courtroom as a support team, like, this nigga mama probably been dead, daddy on crack or whatever. You know, the only thing nigga got with him is they girl or whatever. You know, like, they partner's friend, you know, whoever chose to be that support. But if it's not a gathering of motherfuckers, you know, the white folks looking in that courtroom like, nah, this nigga ain't nobody, you don't know nothing, you finna jail this age, that age. They look at the law like it's hard to learn from a criminal perspective, you know, like a street nigga perspective. So, you know, they railroad shit like, 85% of the population that's incarcerated over sentenced of falsely convicted. So, you know, far as like, you know, niggas feeling some type of way about me saying like the downside of the system. Nah, man, like I don't got no sympathy for that shit. Like niggas need help, niggas won't help. Like I deal with every man, damn near every nigga in New Orleans, from New Orleans to Shreveport. Is they the realest nigga out that city, town, parish, or whatever, hood, clique? If it was the realest man, I dealt with him and conversed with him. If I was around any other type of men that was doing stuff that they knew they wasn't supposed to do, when we converse with each other, I got that true identity out there, man, because I don't want nothing else when I'm dealing with a man. You got to show me like who you was beyond that flesh shit. Like nigga got them tattoos and shit, you know, whatever, golds, diamonds, or whatever. That shit don't mean nothing to me. Like my value come from real bonds and shit. Like, you know, like niggas words and shit. Like, you know, like nigga values and morals. You know what I'm saying? Like family oriented niggas and shit. So like if a nigga don't have that understanding, then I feel like they're on the wrong path. At the end of the day, I can't tell nobody how to live their life, but I can choose who I choose to deal with. And I also, I'm a nigga that's gonna say whatever the fuck I want to say out my mouth. I don't give a fuck about who got something to say about it because I stand on it, know for sure. And I'm saying everything right out of the situation. Anything that's going on, I'm gonna say the correct shit that's going on. If it's fake, I ain't with it. If it's real, I'm with it.
If a dude is locked up man, and he trying to do some time. Dude's got the right to be in a situation where if he want to stay clean and stay focused, he can. But if the shit is flooded with all type of substances for a nigga to get addicted to, it's like it gets to a point where you gotta look at it as black oppression. Like, you feel me? It's like I can't even come to jail and turn into a better dude. Like, you feel me? I'm surrounded by motherfucking all type of shit.
Right. It's like, and I felt just like that. I broadcast that shit. Like, I first got shipped up there, man. Like, we had the quarantine when I first got up there. I left Dixon Correctional Facility called CCI. I left that, come up here in January of this year. Quarantined for 3 weeks. I came out the cells over there at DCI because I had got locked up. I had passed words with a maze and cursed the thing out and shit, but I got shipped up there. Quarantined. Had to go to the dungeon and finish my cell time that I had at the other jail. So I get up here, I do the 90 days and shit. Well, actually, it was 30 days I had left. They left me on the lockdown till up here for 60 extra days, so that turned into being 90 days. Every time the colonel, major, every time he come through, tell him, hey, look, man, my days up here, my name such and such, my days up right here, man. You know, like, my time up. I'm trying to, like, see where I'm going and my next step or whatever. What's up? Oh, man, whoever at the top taking your name off the list. But we keep putting your name on there for the go up for the board, but somebody taking your name off the top. What you had going on at the last jail? See, man, I was warned with the crackers, man. I was warned with the crackers from seeing the oppression that they was exercising on black people. Like, like, far as, motherfuckers looked at like house niggas and shit. Like, these niggas get like, these niggas might be gardening and shit. These niggas go to telling on every fucking thing they see and shit. And it go like that from the security all the way to the inmates. So when I come up here, not to tell the story, but I come up here, I'm gonna 90 extra days. Never went to court or nothing. They don't even see you to court. You violating all your due process rights in the motherfucker. And they got the disciplinary board. If you catch a disciplinary action write-up, you got the right to go in front of the camera, on audio and video and say, I plead guilty or not guilty. You know what I'm saying? They're not even giving you the chance to even get on record to say you guilty or not guilty. They automatically giving you sentences, like, they not even giving you papers, like, you're not even on documents. They just saying, oh, you got 90 days, all right, you're 90 up, you're doing good, you're getting right, I'm gonna come get you. 90 turn to 180. Right? You know what I'm saying? Like, cause they know certain niggas, like, if you a motherfucker that's trying to get yourself together, that's a problem for them because you'll go to filing on the ass, like lawsuits. Everything ain't right. That's what I was saying when I first came up there, the same shit you was saying, like, man, what about the motherfuckers that want to get themselves together? I've been like a student in the class the whole fucking time since I've been here, raising my hand saying, hey, man, right here, I'm trying to get a program. Hey, man, I'm trying to get myself together to go home. I'm trying to rehabilitate myself. Hey, man, I'm trying to do this. These motherfuckers constantly looking over me. So when I evaluated that administration, I said, hey, these motherfuckers like ignorant shit. When I was in the ignorant shit, I couldn't see how much they liked the ignorant shit. I always felt that they looked at me like, so nigga, out of this fucking mind. Like when I paid attention, like I'm not on none of that. Like it's been like 4 years now. I'm like, man, these bitches like ignorant shit. So I regret it, but I accepted most of it. Like I had to get to their level. Like trip out a little bit, like let them know, like, yeah, I'll break your fucking neck too. I'm just not doing it. Like, yeah, I'll slap the fuck out you too. I check my jacket, like, I've been doing this shit, like shit like that. So when I got on that level, they seemed like they was calling me like, oh, this nigga out of his mind. No, I'm not out of my fucking mind. I just want right for myself. Where the men at in the situation and say, hey man, that's 5 men over there. We're gonna put them out of that situation and let them get themselves together. Because we know what they can do. Not only for themselves, for their family, but for generational wealth purpose. You know what I'm saying? Like, I never been a nigga that was on no like separate shit. You know, like I always looked at shit like, even when I was dealing with niggas in the can, like, you know, I'll be around niggas like commissary always been good for a nigga. You know, I used to jack niggas and shit. I had to do that shit, but I just was young wild. But I always used to be around niggas like, if a nigga ain't got some shit, like, I'm gonna get that nigga. I ain't gotta know him or nothing, like, because I'm a nigga know, like, all right, nigga, you got 5 years, you got 30, you got 20, you got 40 or whatever. Oh, that's got time. We around each other right now, you know. But fuck. We be around each other so much, we look at the rate of commissary that's coming in from, you know, certain individuals. You know, we can see that shit without even paying attention. You know, nigga know when a nigga ain't got some shit, you know, fuck. I'm like, when I ain't got it, you got it. When you ain't got it, I got it. You know, let's just swap like that. If we do that all day, every day, we'll always have it. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never had no ill shit on my heart, like, you know, like I wasn't on that type of time. So I look at it like a unified thing and see this shit now. With the understanding that I got, I grew it up again. This shit fucked me up, man. Like, in a way, it shit discuss you with your own people, but you can't fault them from not having the understanding because their minds been infiltrated from the start. Public housing did that shit. Now you know, like, drugs did that shit. You know, crack tore the household up, separated the mama. You know, crack infiltrated. You know, black people like family-oriented motherfuckers. You go on a project, you know, motherfucker might be running from the police. You got TV out the window. Oh, watch them over there, baby. Oh, watch them. They come around that way, all right? You know, she was more so like that. You know, like, shit ain't like that now. You know, like, grandma, auntie, they turned their fucking back on niggas and shit. You know, like, niggas did all kind of grimy shit now, so shit, like, different. You know, so I look at that as, like, a whole, like, nah, you know, like, fuck, our whole life got infiltrated. Like, we allow shit to get in our household, you know, substance, you know, like negativity, you know, evil, demonic shit, whether it's from a negative music perspective, whether it's from a negative chemical perspective, whether it's from a negative sexual perspective, you know, like shit like that. That shit like, whether it's from a food perspective, you know, like nasty shit like that, you know, defilement to the body that can cause defilement to the mind, to the heart, to the actions, and to the spirit and the soul. So when I see that type of shit, that shit made me like, nah, I leave my fucking life on the line behind this shit that I'm saying right now. You know, like, who gonna say, fuck that, I'm gonna help the masses. You see what I'm saying? Like, cause it's an overall struggle, you know, like I said, like, everybody into the same shit out here, man. And they gonna say, all right, you into this, you into that. You into this, you into that. Let's just come together right here and we can do this, do that, do that. Let's make one big old take and you can split. It's the split looking good as a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like, until nigga reach that level of independence to where, you know, they can screw their wings on their own. You know, like, yeah, you know, everybody won't get out the mud, start from the bottom or whatever, but man, I'm not with that shit taking that fucking long, man. Man, I'm not with that shit taking that long. Especially if you saying you love me, you saying you love me, you saying you love me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you into this, you into that, you into this, you into that. Man, with a team of all black, what the fuck I have to even struggle to do anything for? We basically swapping and trading.
Word up,
man,
bro.
I look at that shit as a whole thing, like my whole family, like my whole life, man, my whole family was like struggling, like, you know, like I got family. My cousin, he was on this side with me, you know, my man's jerk, you know, he out there doing his thing, he hold me down the best way he could, doing his rap shit and shit, you know. But overall, like the female, you know, like the female part of my family, I got more females than anything. I ain't even got a daddy, lies, you know, like that nigga active to a certain extent, though, but you know, I ain't gonna subtract him, I ain't gonna add him, you know what I'm saying? But my family struggle, like they struggle, you know, basic black people shit, you know, like we struggle. Growing up, I ain't like that shit. You know, like I ain't like seeing that shit. Like, I moved out of the house with my mom at the age of 13. Come to jail when I was 16. So I only understand I dropped out of school in the 7th grade. In 7th grade, 13 years old. Katrina hit in 2005, I was 12 years old. Arlington, Texas, Dallas, Texas, Baton Rouge, street game from there. New Orleans is over with. We back in this bitch at 16. You know, even though I was advanced more than a lot of motherfuckers, but what kind of accomplishments is that? I got cousins crying to me every day, telling me how I left them out there. Like, you know, a lot of shit would be going on if I was there, you know, all kind of shit like that. But
and where you said you from in where you from out there again?
I'm out the St. Bernard Project at B, you hear me? 7 Wall, you hear me? St. Bernard Project. SOE, you hear me? Savage on alert, man. It's like top five here. Like, I ain't gonna put nothing extra on nothing. You know, everybody got their own opinion, but you know, the ones that know, we know, you hear me? Yeah, man. Like, my little, that bitch was like real. That bitch was like its own island, basically, like from, you know, like the whole city or whatever. Overall, the whole thing's like the 7 walls. You know, that bitch divided 3rd wall, 4th wall, 5th wall, 6th wall, 7th wall. You know, all the way up to the, what, 17th? No 16th, but 15 and 17, that's about it. No 14. You know, that shit sectioned off like that. You know, like, we had projects in Katrina came, he tore all that shit down and built like some condominium shit. Basically, like, nigga.
Your hood, St. Bernard, got hit crazy hard with Katrina.
Fucking right, that bitch. You know, it was all brick, so you like nothing ain't really like fell down or nothing. But as far as the flooding, man, that shit was up to the 2nd floor. You got 3 floors. You know, these motherfuckers high as a motherfucker. Shit got up to the 2nd floor. You know, like, man, that niggas was man, niggas had ice boxes and shit. Like, niggas was floating in ice boxes going to get on the bridge. Like, he got a bridge connected to our hood. Like, right there, St. Bernard Avenue. They got ice boxes right there, like, you know, like floating to the bridge and shit. Like, motherfucker got boats and shit. Charging motherfuckers $20 to get on that bitch and shit. You know, shit like that, man. That bitch got hit real hard, dude. He's like big in the whole city. And just can't come back after Katrina. Like, we built some new shit. Man, we used to call ourselves state prop dudes. You know, we grew up under that era, that Rockefeller era. You know, like, we used to, you know, the niggas I ran with, we used to call ourselves state prop. You know, like, eventually niggas became state property. You know, this shit ain't funny, but, you know, like, yeah, man, you know, like, shit. Yeah, other hood, we joined it with, you know, we 7 wall, I'm on the 7 wall, you know, we fucking a lot of niggas on the 6 wall, you know, we joined it and called it the 76ers. You know, we had the young gunners around my way, you know, 7, you know, like state prop, you know, we had all that shit, you know, it was a resemblance of, you know, the shit that we admired or whatever nigga looked up to, you know, the shit we was into, shit we was bumping on a daily basis. You know, always been in tune with that Philly, New York, you know, shit like that. Nigga listen to the Locks, Jay-Z, you know, state prop and all them niggas, man. So, nigga mindsets was more like that, like our hood. Ask anybody in New Orleans, they gonna tell you like our hood, we got our own lingo. Like, it's probably New York mixed in, you know, accent, you know, it's mixed in shit, but you know, it's like our own lingo. Like, you can throw a little, you know, Creole in the shit or whatever, but however it got to be like how it is, you know, like, it's different. And, you know, they acknowledge that all over the city. You know, people who gonna add it up, they gonna add it up. You know, at the end of the day, they gonna love you, hate you, love you, and love you again. But, like, they know. You can ask around, like, that bitch real. You know, like, it was unified at one time. It was unified, like, as years progressed, you know, shit got broke up. Like niggas did these shit, niggas pick sides or whatever like that. You know, like you know, like right now, like I don't fuck with no day one niggas. You know that I like was hanging with before I came to jail. Like nigga never put a cent on my shit. Like nigga never put a quarter on my commissary. Like you know, like my mans were taking care of me. Like my mans, you know, I got real friends. Like my mans Lamar, you know, my mans Jerk. You know, I got real friends. You know, like niggas that, you know, different type of relationships. You know, like not none of that temporary ass shit. You know, shit like that. You know, other than that, man, all I can do is just girl in this bitch, man. You know, look for loopholes within, you know, my case or whatever. You know, loopholes within this unsanitary ass shit or this, you know, violation of a nigga amendments, constitutional right, shit like that.
They got that JPay, they got tablets and all of that and JPay in there?
Yeah, they got the tablets in this bitch, but you know, like, there's more phones than anything. So, you know, like, yeah, I had a tablet, you know, like.
Now I'm talking about for like the way the niggas be sending money and videos and shit like that to niggas. They got that?
Yeah, they got niggas with the JP shit. You know, they got the new tablet shit came out with the video. You can get the video visuals on the tablet and shit. You know, like the Securus phone call company. They got the shit like that. You know, they sell kind of like, you know, like close to the world shit, fried chicken. You know, all kind of shit like that, corner store shit, basically. They try to do that and shit. You know. Shit used to be more better for us on like you can have access to fruits, festivals and shit like that. Like that shit been on pause due to the pandemic. Like it's more so like fuck all that type of shit. These niggas don't give a fuck about nothing but getting loaded and putting their face in the phone. Fuck all that, man. I'm about to oppress this bitch. And that's what's going on. Like, you know, like shit are going to overall drought for a day or two. Like, man, they just had, I didn't tell you, but they just had a write-up and shit that was on the news. This shit was just on the news probably like, 45 days ago, some shit like that. Man, 7 pounds of weed got popped, 30 ounces of coke, man, umpteen amount of cell phones, umpteen amounts of K2 mojo, umpteen amounts, all type of shit. iPhone, so all that shit got popped. They got a big little write-up on WDRZ.com, Lane Hunt's Correctional Facility. All that shit. I just posted that shit on my Instagram when that shit first happened, though. But like that'll even give you more like insight on even visual pictures of like what how this shit look like. This shit is going to overall drought and then everything will be all right. You know what I'm saying? Like shit being controlled by cop shit and some cop ass inmate niggas, you know what I'm saying? All niggas can do is like stay grounded on these value moves and principles. Real shit getting rare in the world, nigga trying to keep that shit as close as possible. It's just deal, man. You know, at a point like all the men I deal with from the street to jail, you know, they just want to take care of their families, man. Be boxed off in their own life. Man. It's like it gives like mediocre shit to be like as a prize or whatever you want to call it, as like award, you know, shit like that, like fried chicken D, like one of the most popular things at this bitch, like nigga running off like kettle out the dome when they call chow around you motherfucker. They call chow motherfucker flying out the dome to the kitchen looking like they running for a motherfucking track meet or some shit. So, you know, they build the minds up to motherfuckers that gonna accept any and everything. And you press that shit at an all-time high, man. Just think about, you got the pandemic, you got motherfuckers getting $1,500 a year. The stimulus checks and shit, you got motherfuckers who got the $600, the $1,500, the $2,000. You know, you got niggas who got all 4 however many checks came out. If they get that shit, just imagine what their family doing now. You got motherfuckers getting PPP. You know, you got motherfuckers getting all kind of shit. You got bitches getting 150 grand and shit. Whether they getting it However they getting it, you know what I'm saying? So, motherfucker can call home for 500 easy and bust that bitch down in a can. Like, you know, everything is like a 5-time flipping this bitch. If an ounce of weed going for $150 out that bitch going for 500 a hell. Bust that bitch down, you gonna make 1,500. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how free shit is, man. You know, like, yeah, you know, I ain't acting like I ain't indulged, you know, and hustling or nothing like that. But you know, like, when the shit get too like radish, like, you know, like I'm out the way, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't get rides from just getting a ride with a nigga, you know, to get some shit. Like, I'm a nigga that's gonna broadcast, man, what's up, man? I got half of everything. We can have all that shit. What? You got half? Yeah, you can have all that shit. You know what I'm saying? That's the only way I get a ride. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, I stay down until I come up, man. You know, I barely around the bitch shit, you know, and like, you know, just either I eat, you know, until the plate get full. You know what I'm saying?
So for right now, bro, you appealing your cases, or you supposed to have a whole nother 16 years to do?
Yeah, like basically that's what, you know, I just got a new parole date recently under some shit called Act 22, 65%. They give you a new parole date. If you're a first-time violent offender, you go out for parole and 65% of your time. So I just got a new parole date recently. You basically add up 35, 65% of 35. You know, I ain't gonna do the math on air, but basically add it up. But on the side of that, you know, like I put in post conviction, and you know, like I told that ineffective system counsel. So recently, I just met this lawyer named Catherine Burke, and she, you know, like she real big on offering to help, you know, the situation, but she on 25 grand. So I'm not gonna miss that right now, busting my ass. You know, my girl busting her ass, my family, they busting their ass. You know, we breaking in right now trying to, you know, get our money and shit.
You said she won 20 grand?
She won 25 grand. She won 5 grand up front. She can have me home in 2 years with the, you know, like, with how easy this shit is. You know how easy this shit look. You know, she like, I can have you home in at least 2 years. I just got somebody home on the same situation like 4 months ago. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm building on right now, you know, getting that wise and shit, and, you know, for funds, you know, as far as putting that towards that.
And you said what you said she's a lawyer, she's a private lawyer or something?
Yeah, Catherine Burke, man. She resigned in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I had met her, my girl had bumped into her and shit. I had a conference call with her, and she was a real nice lady. You know, like 29 years old, real young. You know, like she ready to, you know, she can have me home in 2 years. She got a guy home in 4 months ago on the same situation. So, you know, like, I find it, you know, like, we be on that type of time, like, we trying to build. In the midst of that, you know, I just be, like I told you, I write music, you know, I do all that to write. I'm writing a little book right now, I got an introduction to that shit. I got no name for it, I got all kind of shit wrote down though, but I just read, I pray, I'm real spiritual, man. You know, on top of all the negative shit nigga had there, you know what I'm saying?